blame, and you never really look at what's going on, because you can only look at what's going on as how you see it from the self-centeredness. So the system, it's not the system that's caught in the in and out, it is the in and out. Yeah. So, and all the practices, you know, you could see, well, drug addiction wouldn't lead you there, but you would think spirituality would. And I gave a good shot at spirituality with the hopes that if you're practicing something that is meant to sort of at least be, you know, directed towards the truth, that maybe the truth would reveal itself and to tell and get to the bottom of everything. But it didn't in my case. I was practicing in a couple of continents. I went to some retreats in Asia and everywhere. I had the sincerity and the earnestness, but I was already occupied, yeah, without knowing it. And the idea of me being occupied is the language. It's, of course, it's a dualistic language. There was just an occupation, and I was attempting to get out of what I was in as that which I was in. You know, it's impossible. So the great wisdom of no escape is coming to the realization, hopefully through failure of escape mechanisms and plans and designs, and even if they're 2,000 years old or they come from an ancient freaking sect, realizing that why they're failing isn't because you haven't done enough, or you should have been closer, or you should have kissed the feet of that person, or walked around the statue the 108th time, and then, or, you know, kept the beads on when you were swimming. I don't know. This seems to be all the reasons why you have failed, except that it's a failed system. Yeah, because you're trying to get out of what you're not in, really. The whole idea, and at least self-inquiry, I mean, what I've heard about Ramana Maharshi was being in silence for years and just obviously having a complete ordinary obviousness of what is. He expected, you know, realistically that would get the message through, the silence, but he realized no one was getting it. Because of what? Because of this claiming of being something that you're not, hearing the message, trying to get the silence, trying to realize it's the silence as a very chaotic, loud fucking megaphone of activity. Yeah, it doesn't work. Yeah, you can't arrive at one from two. Yeah, and the one is definitely made up from the two. So the one is of two anyway, because you believe you're going to merge into the one. That means there's two. So, and I realized also, I'm jumping ahead, but you can't go from that one that's actually, or the seemingly one that's actually two-ness to zero. It doesn't work. Yeah, because you'll be walking around saying, I don't see anybody, when you're seeing someone to say, I'm not seeing anybody. Yeah. Why would, if you didn't see anybody, there would be no reporting you're not seeing anybody. It would just be the way things are. Yeah. There's just not seeing anybody, but you must be seeing something to sort of deny it. Yeah. I'm not seeing you. You saw you. You saw the other. So, you know, that doesn't work. And I remember introducing people to the Course in Miracles, and the people that were presenting the ideas of the Course in Miracles started from a position of, there is no world. Yeah. Now everyone left at the break. They didn't come back because it doesn't, you can't, when you can't start negating everything while that negation is affirming this. It doesn't work, yeah? So you're walking around with an incredible, you're like a non-self self. It's worse, you can't stand going with someone like that to coffee because there's no one here. Don't ask, there's no one that passed the fucking spoon, whatever, yes? Because it just mimics a conceptual idea of what not being me would look like as me. You can't get out of it. That's the whole point of the message. The whole point is something you may be trying to avoid at all costs, because that which is yapping as us, to us, is telling you That's the forbidden zone. You're not going to get it. Yeah, you're not escaping. You, as you're represented right now, isn't going to be in Shangri-La looking back at the past. It is of that. Yeah, it's of two-ness. So the beautiful news of recovery, of actually recovery from two-ness, but the beautiful news of non-duality is you're not going to get it. Yeah, and it's not an experience. And there aren't, black belts given out. Yeah, and there isn't the great fear of losing what you have attained because there's no attaining involved in it. The basic assumption being ourselves reality, yeah, looking for reality is the greatest mystery of all. Yeah. Now, it makes sense if Paul feels like it wants to escape the reality it thinks it's in, and it has a conceptual idea of the reality, which is just made up of what this ain't. Yeah. Yeah. And then I want to attain that reality, being this reality. But this isn't the reality. That's the good news. Yeah. We are reality. Naked of all concepts and everything like that. The fact is the fact is the fact. I am. Yeah. It wasn't I was to become I am, or I will be someday I am. It's I am. That's it. That present sense of onness represents what you are. It's almost an intimation. You can't know it. You can't sniff it. You can't get it. You can't have it as what you're not. Yeah. So the whole point of non-duality doesn't go to an affirmative state. It goes to negating. It negates the two-ness. That's all. It says, hey, you pictured as one, but that's just a box. What's really inside are like two cereals, subject, object. Yes. I'm an object. I'm thinking about myself as an object, or I'm the thinking about someone else as the subject. Yeah. That's the real ingredient of the package. It's symbolized as a one. I'm not Z's body. I'm this body. Yeah. I'm separate from all other bodies. So this signifies a oneness. That's not the activity of this. The activity of this represents an activity of two-ness. Yeah. The thinking and the thinker and the thought about. Yeah. The activity of thinking is there. Then the thought about and the thinker is the subject objectness. This is the duality that great master in Zen said, hey, just scream out, not two. Yeah. It didn't say search for the one. It didn't. He didn't. He said just scream out, not two. Why? Because the one has nothing to do with anything other than the two. Yeah. The mathematics of non-duality, in my feeling, is zero. That's the primary number. Yeah. Zero. If you keep trying to make the one a zero, it's still going to be one in all the equations. Yeah. And the one is of two-ness. Paul and Z is not a long-lasting, separate, independent entity. Paul and Z is an activity of subject-objectness. Yeah. What's life is happening to me. Yeah. Thinking, yes. Thinker. Thought about. Wow. Yeah. Seeing, yes, definitely. Is there any effort or thought in seeing? No. The seer fucking lives an incredible life of thought and effort, How can he not see what it's seeing? How can I vow today not to see a beautiful woman, and then you see a beautiful woman? It goes like you lose, exactly. You lose every time. So the message of non-duality, and hopefully we're presenting with the least amount of Paul in it as possible, yes? And because it's so easy, if there's a little bit of Paul, there'll be a whole lot of you getting Paul, because this is what people are looking at. They're looking at the message or not the message, because they can't see the message because they are the message, yes? So I'm hoping I can just sort of blend into the background, and then there's a message. And that's what I leave you. That's why I come here for. That's why I'm still motivated because the action figure has lost all interest in this because it sniffed it out years ago. It ain't going to get anything. And basically, this action figure is not interested unless it's going to get a payoff, really, in most cases. So it lost complete interest in this because it's tried to sniff it, it's tried to grab it, it tried to put some in. It said, all these hours, this power coming through me, it's my power, you know, but none of this works. And more, it's like every time I come to a talk, it's just a gaping hole in the narrative of the head. It just says, well, I was in Rim City. I remember going to coffee. I remember having this, but this event is claimless. There's no claiming of it. Yeah, it's impossible. Once you take it to be coming from you, it's neutered, it's changed. You can't help it. That's what we do. We give everything all the meaning it has. That means everything. That means messages, that means ideas, principles. The hearing of it changes the principle. That's the big principle to realize, yes? Is to recognize, and so what after a while? At first it's, oh, I'm so fucking profoundly, what, I've got to, no, you realize that's just how it's going, yeah? Everyone is going to be a hypocrite sooner or later. Yeah, there's no one who's not soiled. Everybody's robes goes through the mud. Yes. You come to terms with it. You come to peace with it because you realize I'm not this. Yeah, and therefore this can go ahead and do its little business without so much surveillance. I mean, it's incredible. You know how I used to work in the trades, so house painter. So it was like a drag when the owner of the house was there watching every stroke you painting. It got you very nervous. You fucking, and you did a worse job, yeah, with this fucking person watching over you. Like when we had the thing built, the dock built at the old house, the lady who owned it came over every day. They both fucking quit. They couldn't take it. Yeah, they would have done a better job without that surveillance. Guess what? We're living under that kind of surveillance. As long as there's an identification of being this, that's going to really be hanging over you. And I feel a lot of our acting out is not to get to the policeman of the two-legged fucking selfie. Yeah, the thief is better. You know what I mean? I'll take my 30 days in jail. Just don't let that thing start critiquing me. Yeah. So of course, most of us want to be unconscious, especially to that. Yeah. We'll take the fucking, you know, the consequences of selfing. But with that, when the policeman gets on the beat, the fucking billy clubs come out, and now perfection. I should be fucking perfect. I should meditate perfectly. I should do this perfectly. Yeah, I remember when people used to try, when I was with this guru, he'd be coming over from India and everyone would try to make the house perfect. And of course, any other person that came in fucked it up. Stay off of that rug. The petals are perfect. Yeah, this is what we do. The party sucks when we get there. Yeah. How are you going to really train the thoughts to stay in the pen you'd like them to be in? Are you? That's the assumption of being the thinker leads to. That assumption of being the thinker leads to that. You feel like you should have some control over what you have no control over, don't you? This is what comes in. The delusion makes more of itself. Yeah. So we now have an assumption we should have power over a lot of shit we have no power over. And then we live a lot of frustration and disappointment and gotta blame it on someone else. Why things aren't going my way. So yeah, everyone, okay, now I'm the observer of the thief. No, you're not. It's gonna be worse. If you go into that position, if you now become the witness of, give me a freaking break. You've been convicted in that court already. Yeah, there's observing, But no, not one, there's not one moment where the observing is an observer. Yeah. There's just observing. And then there's a claiming of the observing. And now you're the new, lifted, lofty observer of the old you. Yeah. And then everything, the old you gets all the blame. And now it's watched constantly from the new you. Yeah. Which is hellish. That's why people get loaded. Yeah. They want to escape from that. Yes. They think ignorance is bliss because of that, really. When I was out there fucking around, not knowing any better, it was great. Then I start getting, sober and I start meditating. Now hell has broken out. Some fucking perfection thing is demanding of me what I can't deliver. So you see, most people don't want to be conscious, really, do they? I mean, if they did, why would they watch the ninth, Die Hard, I mean, they know the first 8 of them sucked. Why would they sit through the 9th one? Because they're just trying to avoid, they're trying to avoid that, really, I feel. So I finally, thank God, I heard this. Not thank God I was introduced to it, because a lot of people are getting introduced to the idea of non-duality, but I heard it. It's a huge difference, because you can think you know non-duality, and there's no knowing of non-duality. There's knowing of duality, You can know what you're not of, But because you can know it from what you are of, But you can't know what you are of. You can only be it, really, That's the only, that's awesome, Because from a state of being, knowing it is like a booby prize. Understanding it is like a booby prize. Experiencing it would be a drag, because you'd have so many moments of not experiencing it for that one peak moment of experiencing it. This is the dog shit awareness of just awakeness. You're inherently awake. You can seem to be asleep to that as what you're not, or you can seem to be awake to that as what you're not. But it doesn't change the fact of awakeness, It goes better when that which you are not has realized, It doesn't know any better, but it realized it's not this, It's finally come to it. And then it's now awake to that fact that I'm not this, That's being awake, to the awakeness, Someone who's asleep to the awakeness is taking this to be the reality, and then following all the conceptual roadmaps and signs to arrive maybe at a bigger, better reality. But all the while, this is completely intact, every step of the way. So in the pursuit of wanting to know God, the biggest experience is the knower of God. You'll be the knower of it for years, So again, all the emphasis is on what you're not. This is a losing interest in what you're not, and gaining interest in what? Find out, But you can't lose interest in this as this. It just doesn't work, If I set out on a course to lose interest in Paul, that's more interest in Paul. It doesn't matter if you do it in a different location, continent, in a plane, it's a fact. You can't get around that little Chinese torture, If I set out on a course to lose interest in me, that's more interest in me. So how can I do it? Well, just like you see during your life, when you're listening to people hoping they're going to say something about you, you're really keenly interested in that conversation. Once they say, oh, we don't like that fucking guy or whatever, you lose interest in that conversation, Why? As soon as it's not about you, let's say, there's a loss of interest. That's exactly what happens here, When you're not the beginning and the end, when you're not the center of the universe, there's a universe to find, So you lose interest, and then you find out what happens, man. It's cool. It's revelatory, because what I thought was going to happen was I was going to have a wardrobe of robes and, fucking long, slow, monotone speeches and, But it didn't work out that way. It didn't. It said, keep reading New York Yankee blogs. Fucking, your biggest goal today is get a good latte. And I'll let you know if anything changes. Hasn't happened. Hey, honey, come on in. Hasn't happened in a long time. So I don't know. I guess we could open it up if you like. Yeah.
If you want to raise your hands. Anybody want to raise their hands?
Oh, yeah. Taking a moment of silence there. If not, someone new just came in, not new, but we'll just share. So what she may be looking for was there when you were walking up, when you came in, when you sat down. Yeah, we miss it because of time. Really, time makes what's always here to seem to be invisible. Yeah, we see things that come and go, basically because they come and go. If they were constantly here, you would miss it. It's the same, the idea of the fish in the water. The fish obviously is completely immersed in water, but probably doesn't know it until it finds itself on the boats, you know, on the boats, whatever, and flopping around because it's been taken out of that. Yeah. In this case, being ourselves that, yeah, this activity of being something else, can't see it, can't, yeah, just can't get it. It's impossible. And so that's a damn good understanding to have. So you finally stop that drive or that momentum to try to get or to grab or embrace or to have weakens. And then there's a pause and you're left with your own devices and you see they're not yours. You recognize something, yeah? You can't recognize it when it's constantly in movement. There's a pause that occurs where the interest and attention that constantly goes to that action figure, there's a stopping, and then it takes off in different directions. Yeah, that's what happens. And now you have the eyes to see something that you weren't seeing, and I mean awareness, not visual. Yeah, you have a recognition or an intimation of that which you're surrounded by. Really, more so, actually, there's no surrounding because there's not you and it. There's just that. And there's you've come up against the wall of the finite manufacturing. Yeah, I think Ramana speaks about it like this. You hit a point where then it's grace, really. Yeah, you've gone as far as you can, recognizing what you're not, and then grace does the rest. It's sort of like running with a ball. You come to the point where your role is over, you put the ball down, and then grace abounds. Yeah, yeah, because you, the little remnant of you moving in time, can't cross that bridge. It's impossible. Yeah, and that's the recognition of this message. Really, that's what brings such peace. Is like, you're forgiven for all your trespasses because they weren't yours. Yes. I mean, not as a denial, mental denial, as a recognition that you truly never knew any better, ever. Yeah. That your inability is your true power. The recognition that, you know, I'm not going to get it. Yeah. Because the whole point is being ourselves that. That statement is infused with every cryptic statement of non-duality presentation, really. Everything that we say here is infused with is the assumption being ourselves, that which can't be pointed at, that which cannot be known, that which cannot be described. Let's say what they said, you know, Nisargadatta, I am, or Ramana, I am that I am. That's basically the closest you can utter. Yeah. But the point is, you're immersed in something. Yeah. Completely. We've drowned long ago. Yeah. There's no need to struggle. I saw an incredible interview. James Cagney, this old actor, and this guy was trying to get James Cagney all excited about James Cagney, and James Cagney was saying, "It's just the flow, you know. Didn't you do? I didn't do anything. I just showed up, and this happened. It was ease, no resistance." And the guy kept trying to say, "But everyone thinks you're great." Well, you know, whatever, you know. Thought it was one of the best satsangs I've heard in a long time. I swear the guy said, "Oh, no, that's not." It's every time the guy wanted to make it something, he just cut it up. Say, no, I just showed up. Everything just happened. Not much effort, not much thought. Just, I was like, wow. It was very, very clean, very clean. Just an old man at the time, like 80 years old, you know, and the other guy was just trying to make him James Cagney, and he wasn't buying it. This is sort of what the head's trying to do all day. It's trying to make us see. Janine, Amelia, and you've hit a point where you're not buying it anymore. Yes, you're not buying it. And then you realize things, whatever's happened has happened. That's how it goes. There was no James pulling the strings and become a great movie star. He just fucking stumbled and bumbled his way through life. And then he realized there was no need for fucking stress or this because, but what about you? Everyone loves you. No. Because he had lost interest in James Cagney. The other guy had more interest in James Cagney than James Cagney had. Yeah. And I wanted what James Cagney didn't have. That's what I wanted. He didn't have James Cagney. I wanted that from the interview. That's what I want. Exactly. That's the value that never erodes or corrodes. Yeah. The absence of James Cagney. That's the value. Yeah. A life with the absence of James Cagney as its circumference, as its point. Yes, that's value. So, yeah. It was funny. I was just thinking he was going to talk about his gangster movies because I like him. He didn't say shit. He said, went here, went there, you know. It's very cool, you know. And so this isn't like, robes don't eventually lead to this. It's available at all time, like that old Zen man from China, Bankyo, I think his name was. He'd always would talk about it as the unborn, and instead of giving satsangs at the emperor's court or the high thing, he went to farmers and shit because they had been given an idea that because they were farming, they couldn't get this. And he was just saying, fuck that, you know, we're all of the unborn. You are, yes? In other words, you are that, not through the making or the unmaking, you are that, yeah? So don't let the idea that farming is gonna forestall the possibility of ever arriving. You are that, yes? Now, that's the whole message. Because there's a lot of little, you know, they had that guy that would start something and go all through. It was a weird thing. This is, it's a smooth little ride. It's the mental puts these ideas in. Oh, I'm doing this, therefore I don't have time for that. Yeah, it's all baloney. You can evade it. You can try to put it off. You can avoid it. You can sort of distract yourself from it. The head can, but the fact is the fact is the fact. We are of awakeness, not as a body, but as awakeness. Yeah. That's the premise of non-duality. You can arrive there, and when you do through the talks, you'll realize you were always there, you never left, yes? Or you can get it, whatever, it doesn't matter. But when it becomes truly intimate with you, it will inform you it's always and will be always this way, yes? All the big things you thought had the meaning enough to move you from that in your life, which were many in this life, had nothing. They haven't changed a damn fucking thing, yeah? And therefore, having those experiences leads you to a faith in the future, yes? And the same fact will be the same fact. That's why we use on having never left. And we try to make these little questions to imply being ourselves reality is why we come here. Yeah. If this was about arriving somewhere, we'd be working out. Yeah. I fucking do spiritual push-ups and getting ready. Yeah. If we, you know, because obviously our arrival will be predicated on our condition. Our condition would have to be changed to arrive. No, this is a false relevance that the mental state is constantly fucking sucking up and then presenting it to be you. I can block you from the light that you are, no fucking way. Or I can lead you to the light. I don't need any leading. I am the light. Yes. Its relevance in both aspects are neutered. Yeah. There's a peace here. There is. There's a peace beyond understanding. Because you're understanding things, I had to do something to have peace. And this peace is beyond that understanding. You don't need to do shit. And if you need to do it, it's because of some other reason. Yeah. And when you need, and when those reasons are done over, you'll realize there was nothing you ever needed to do. That's always the recognition of all the 20 years or the 1 second, yeah, of withholding this fact. When it drops, you realize it's always been this way. Yeah. That brings a soothing relaxation in this hamster wheel of time and space. It does. You can travel lighter. Yeah. How did James Cagney travel lighter? Not as James Cagney. Yeah. The lightness came from somewhere else. It didn't come through James to whatever we are. It comes from what we are and maybe expresses through Paul. Yeah. Paul is like a little, Paul is not the destination, and it's not like life central. It's like it's a forgotten outpost. That's things drive through. As they drive through, we say, me. But in fact, everything is coming and going. Yeah. So, yeah. Any questions?
Yeah. Philip from down under.
Philip from down under. I felt that. I felt Paul from down under. Can you help me?
Okay. Tell me, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Philip.
All right. Can you hear me?
No, but someone will translate for you.
No, you're awesome.
All right. Oh, he's moving me. Go
Can you
ahead.
hear me, Mike?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh, yeah. All right. Yeah. Welcome back, Paul. And
Oh, Philip. Yes, nice, from Brisbane. Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't see you,
Right.
but yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I know you've taken it off, but I love your leather jacket. I assume you got that in Italy.
No. Another assumption bites the dust. I'm not going to tell it. The person doesn't know I've taken it from them yet, so I'm not going to say.
It's funny because the question I came into the Zoom with was almost exactly what you've been talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, about the policeman. You know,
Yeah.
I wanted to know, in your experience, does the policeman ever dissipate? Does it ever stop?
Of course, yes.
It drives me crazy. You know this.
Well, yes, of course it does. Yeah, because there's something underneath it.
So Philip, I'm gonna turn the volume off on you. Is that okay? You know what the question?
All right. Yeah, of course it does, Philip. Yes.
Yeah.
It's the loudness of its megaphone is based on interest and attention. Yeah. That interest and attention can be withdrawn. And then it will be like a radio in another room while you're living. Yes, it does dissipate.
Yeah.
But not in the way you think. Yeah. There's a loss of interest in it dissipating or not also.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
waiting
like-
for it to dissipate like spiritual Christmas. Yeah, you just lose interest in it dissipating, and then wow, it's dissipated.
in the depths of difficulty,
Non-duality is disarming. Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't know how much of us that we're not is called to arms. When it starts putting it down and through surrender, you realize, what kind of war you seem to be living in. Yeah. Yeah. It's a disarming message. So the police, that aspect of the head, the policeman definitely dissipates. Yes.
I'm going to volume back up.
It's like in the depths of difficulty, it's always saying, well, hey man, chill out. This is not you. This is not you.
Well, if you're in the depths of difficulty, it may be better if you watch some movie or shit, something like that. Distracted. Do it. Take an act to distract the attention and interest, because you may be saying there's no shit, but the flies aren't buying. The flies are on you. So you might as well, you got to distract the flies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't become like a non-dual fundamentalist. You can't use non-duality.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's more of an attitude and outlook. It's not something that you with the old attitude and outlook uses to get out of trouble. Yeah. It changes the attitude and outlook about getting in or out of trouble. Yes. It's different. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if something, has you by the, gonads or whatever, don't say there's no gonads, just fucking do something to relieve the pressure,
Yeah.
Maybe help someone else or if, yeah.
Distraction.
Yeah, distraction, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like, this isn't like, oh, I have to walk through this. Who says that? Fucking, if something's brought you to the cliff, it's probably going to bring you there again. Don't worry. It's not like the only time you're going to be brought to a cliff. A lot of times you're brought to the cliff, it's not appropriate to jump off. It's not the moment. Yeah. So just fucking, distract yourself and chill out. This isn't a large, I don't see sacrifice as a basic theme of it. I don't. I see loss of interest as the basic theme here. I do. And the loss of interest is not you don't lose interest. What happens is that interest that's sort of directed and defined gets opened and spreads out. So now you feel a presence that you weren't feeling before, a presence while you're walking around, because that's the interest and attention. That's us, yeah? But when it's like this, directed, almost like a one-lane highway and focused, that becomes sort of like a mental laser beam that just, it becomes it reinforces this idea of a loop of self-importance, yeah? You go back for you, it's, you're not going to get out of that by being focused and concentrating. It's going to actually reinforce it. You just lose interest in it, and then there's an opening. And then that thing that seems so something, when seen in a more panoramic view, you see a lot more other elements that you weren't picking up. Yes?
Yeah, yeah. There are moments when, like, in some situation where the voice in the head says, "Hey man, I thought you were traveling lighter. This seems very heavy, That's
the policeman.
Yeah, commentating.
That's the policeman, yes. You're not that, bro. Yeah, that's all. After a while, you don't say it. It's known now. You're not that.
Yeah.
So, and then when it starts, a wrestling match, what it's wrestling with is not you either. Yes, so it's not like all my money's on that one winning. No, there's no winning and losing. It's just mental activity that wants to do what? attract attention and interest.
Mm.
Yeah.
There's one more thing.
It's sort of like, you know, it's sort of like this. If you were betrothed to a woman, you had given her your heart, yeah? Then when other people showed up, there would be a different activity, yeah? So this is sort of like that. Something has become obvious to you, and that interest, attention that would constantly be flowing to these objects, this and this, is withheld now. You're not withholding it, it's withheld. And the panoramic view stays locked in more. Yeah, sort of that which goes like this and that isn't you. Yeah, you're a huge space. Yeah, this is an experience that happens, but you're not, has nothing to do with you. Yeah, it has a lot to do with you, but not you. Yeah. Yeah, so get it through. See, the great thing we say in recovery is this too shall pass. So just, you know, avoid something, watch Bloodline on Netflix. It's a very good show. Good, really it is. It's written well, good acting. You'll get absorbed in it. I used it for 2 knee operations. Worked great. Bloodlines. I couldn't go out, so I just watched this show and mind passed. Yeah.
It's got a good Aussie actor in it as well.
Yes. Very good actor. Yeah. He did a great job. He got killed. Ooh, can't give up the script. Yeah. Just so, please, Phil, don't become a martyr to the cause of non-duality. It's not worth it. Just take care of business. Sometimes the greatest thing to do is avoid shit. Really, a lot of times when you think you have a terminal illness, if you don't do anything about it, it'll disappear. Really, a lot of times it does. You know, we give everything all the meaning it has. That's a very important take of it, what's happening here in dreaming from the Course in Miracles. It's profoundly clear observation of what our role here is. We are the dreaming. So we can make shit out of nothing. We can. We do. It's not us. See, there's no volition in it, and there's no you that should know better. We're not a thing. We're not an independent, separate thing. We're like a projector of a dreaming. Yeah. And when the dreaming comes through this projector, the projector infuses meaning and to that which is seen as seemingly outside of itself. That's the role this is. Knowing that should have a humility or a humbleness attached, because you're fucking outmatched. This isn't your pay scale. Yeah. This little idea of Paul, it's so myopic. So.
Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you know, Phil, don't if something is bothering you and the mind, you can't get the flies away, you know, this is when skillful means have value. Yeah? Yes. A friend of mine wants to say something. I don't know, Z.
When you say you're not the actor and all the similar things to say, would you say that you're simply point of awareness, point of consciousness, if you have to say anything about who you are, given the fact that you're not independent, separate entity or action figure, are you just, if you have to put the words on it, your point of consciousness, spaceless point of consciousness?
Well, spaceless, if it was spaceless, there wouldn't be a point. Yeah, there wouldn't be a point. There's just consciousness, let's say. Yeah, and I would say consciousness is a movement in something other, which is awareness, I feel. I don't feel they're the same thing.
It's more, what would say, action figure, more action.
I think it's just concentrated. So it's sort of like there's all this stuff, and then if you took some of this stuff and moved it in, then things would appear as things. Yeah. Here you're not seeing anything. Take that energy and then now I'm seeing things. Yes. But all of that is in the dreaming. So as real as it may seem to be, in the context that it's dreaming, it's not real. See, that's the incredible news.
Another way of saying it, there's nothing happening, and there is nobody that it's happening to. It's just what it is. It is what it is.
Yes, but there's a lot happening, but nothing happens.
Apparently, there's lots of happening.
Yes, tons of happenings, but nothing actually ever happens.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, but that doesn't allow. I don't think that promotes any traveling lighter if it's just an idea. Yeah.
Right.
But if it's a description of an intimacy, as best you can, then it has value, I feel. Because the message is really what's attempting to be expressed through the words. It's not of the words. Yes? Yeah. So the thing cannot picture itself as anything other than a thing, either a point of awareness, but it's still, the meaning of that is being given by this, and we're not this. Yes. So to me, it's more artistic flair trying to describe the indescribable. It's fun. It's sort of like the guy can do a triple flip, so try it. But when all's said and done, it doesn't really mean much. Yeah. I think like Gio, a guy who comes here from Brazil, I like when he said that when you see that this is dreaming, it's more real than ever. That's exactly what it's like. Because if you see it as real, you wish it was dreaming. Yeah. Yes.
And also you create it in a sense. If you think it's real, you create it.
Well, you made it. Yes, of course. Yeah. So when you see that this is dreaming, it doesn't change anything. You actually, it makes it more HD. It's more alive because what you were trying to do as reality, you were trying to suppress it because you didn't what you are or not doesn't like reality. It wants its own reality, which is happening now in the world with all information going around. People don't give a shit about facts other than their own. They don't say, I don't believe your facts. I believe my facts, but what they're believing in aren't facts. Yes.
And as long as you deny it, you give it life. You give it reality.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the engine of this place. You're denying the unreality of the dreaming, and that makes it more real to you. And therefore, I want to avoid it at all costs, or escape from it, or fucking, distract myself. And I don't mean for an hour or two, I mean my whole life. Yes, because I've given it a reality it doesn't have. Because there's been a lack of recognizing what I'm not. Therefore, I'm not in the state in this event of being ourselves reality. I'm in a mental state of something that is completely, its condition is based on all these other conditions. So I've got to fucking manage or avoid or whatever. Yes. Yeah. Which is just activity, constant activity, the mental state. It can't even enjoy peace because if it arrives at peace, it thinks it's going to leave. So there's no enjoyment of peace because of time. See, that's why you can spend 3 weeks in a high-end and upper middle way retreat where everything is catered and taken to you and get to a point where everything is great. I haven't had any outside calls, but then a second later, it could go off the pot once you get a call from your wife and she said she left you for the meditation teacher or whatever. Yeah. So basically it's so fragile, it's got to be looked at, and that looking at it distorts it all the fucking time. Yes. Just like your health, you're looking at it may be the cause of the lack of health because your head gets obsessed and wants one, and in that obsession, it produces the other. Yeah. Because we don't know what's going on. We don't know how things work here. We don't see the mechanism of duality because we don't see ourselves as that mechanism. We don't see that there isn't a thinker. The thinker is implied by the claiming of the thoughts. There is no two. There's just thinking, hearing, feeling, tasting, touching, doing. There's no doer and what was done. This is all the dreaming. Yeah. And
Verbing, as you say, verbing, as you say, instead of reading.
exactly, there's verbing and verbing and verbing and verbing and verbing. There's really no noun to be found. The noun is arrived at by the claiming of something. So the mother and father of the noun is the verb. Yeah. When we think we're the mother and father as the noun of all verbs, it's completely, the cart is in front of the horse. It's completely, and you, with that being established, this can't do that. It would just be that again, yes? It's just the seesaw. You're here, you think you want to be there, and because it will change everything, you run up there, your weight makes it here, yeah? You can't get out of it. That's the great wisdom of no escape. You can't get out of it. And have you ever entertained the idea, am I in it? Very rarely. You can do tons of practices for years and never get to that point of recognizing, wait a minute, am I in that which I'm trying to rush away from at all costs? Yeah, have I ever questioned that? No, yeah, because the system doesn't take well a questioning of itself, yeah? It'll question everyone else and everything like that. It'll question you as the thief and the policeman, but itself, the real system doesn't want to be questioned, yeah? It just doesn't, because that's its protection. It thrives in this cloud of two-ness, yes?
Even the question of being a person is sort of negated by saying, well, who am I? Who's asking the question?
That's right,
It's,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
There's somebody there.
Yes, and then you can be a person by realizing you're not a person, yes? People who think they're a person don't have a great time usually being one, yeah?
Up and down.
Because there's so much demand and shit. When you realize you're not a person, you can live as one pretty easily, yeah? Yeah, I feel, yes. Thank you, bro. Yes. The rent was like $300, so just leave it. Hopefully a tip. All right, someone just came in. Owes me a lot of money.
He called them out.
All right, anyone else have a question? Calm down, because we gotta listen to them. No other hands up. Can I see some of the people? I haven't seen
Yeah,
anybody.
Drew did have his hand up earlier, so he wants to hide it.
All right, Drew.
Hide him anyway.
Oh, there they are. Nice to see everybody. Jacob and, is that Judith there? There's Judith. Nice to see you, Judith. We got Jacob, we got Stefan on Having Never Left, Robert from New Zealand. Oh, John K. Let's see, where's Lisa? Nice to see you, Lisa. Oh, there's John W. from Down Under. Yeah, he's on a different area of the Down Under that Philip's from. Yeah. Oh, there's Sarah. Sarah made an appearance. Greece. Are you in Greece, Sarah? Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, great. Oh, we got Suzanne. Thank you, Suzanne. Always a pleasure. She's our Course in Miracle expert. That means she doesn't know shit. We got Chris. We got I can't see that one. Ariane. Oh, Ariane. Nice to see you. Oh, Roman. Thanks, Roman, for all the support. Appreciate it a lot. Amy G. Nice to see Amy. Has Amy been here before? No?
Amy Grace.
Right here, Amy Grace. That's a nice
Yeah, a
name.
few
isn't it?
times.
Oh, have you? Well, I can't see well, so. Wait, Satish has a comeback, yes. You needed another slap, yes. Anu, nice to see you, honey. Yes. Walter from the Netherlands. I had a symbolic coffee for Walter, not with Walter. It may have been better. Yeah. Oh. We got Michael. Oh, thanks, everyone. Anyone have any questions? Jacob, I saw Jacob. I got Mike C up there, Tommy H. I know all these folks. Sukai, Ryan, Drew. I'm happy to see everyone. Well,
Judith.
yeah, I saw Judith there. She looks like she's in a tent now. What happened, Judith? You look like you're in a tent. Oh, she's frozen. She's frozen.
I'm in a tent, Paul.
What?
I am in a tent.
Oh.
My house is being built, and so I'm waiting for there.
I can't hear you, Judith. Hey, Judith, we're gonna call you later after the meeting, Amelia and I. All right, and we got Mickey from.
Okay, thank you.
All right, yeah, you're a little garbled. Hey, Mickey, nice to see you. And there's Gio from Brazil and Tariq from Dover, New Jersey. Very important. Jack, nice to see you, Jack. Hey, Jack, you got the same outfit you had last week.
Just about, Paul. I was self-conscious of that, so I did end up changing it.
That's good, man.
But thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Jack.
You're a weapon of mass destruction, and I'm hesitant to start talking because once I start, it's hard to shut him up. But for you, sir, I'd do anything. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Oh, there's Alex. Nice to see you, Alex. Nice to see you, honey. And there's Linda, our little globetrotter with Mary G. You know, the whole talk is just for this moment, don't you? I mean, the saying hello and goodbye is the most important aspect of it. Philip, yeah, nice to see you from Brisbane. Yeah. What? Oh, Ruby Rose, our emissary in Kansas. It's a lonely job out there, but she's doing a great one. She only has 4 more years. Anyone else? Walter, I said hello to Walter. All right, I think I got everybody, yes? Oh, who's this one here? Oh, Jacob. All right. Hey, everyone, nice to see you. So, is that it?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, thank you. I think that's enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was more than enough. Hey, I'm so happy to see you in recovery. Will start Tuesday and Thursday again. We'll be on the regular schedule. Okay.
So Saturday.
I hope to see you.
Saturdays or change to 1.
No, Saturdays will be at 1 o'clock. If that works for everybody, it works well for me. 1 o'clock, yes? We'll do it then. And we don't care about the French person, so don't worry about it. Well, 1 o'clock's good. So I'll see you Tuesday, some people, and Thursday, same time, 10:30 Pacific, 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Wednesday, and 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific Saturday. Thanks, everyone. And Tuesday, 4:30. Tuesday is 4:30 Pacific time at Awakening Together. Yeah, we'll be there. All right, thanks. Thanks,
you,
everybody.
bye.
See you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Paul.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Paul.
Mike.
Glad
Yeah.
you're home.
Thank you.
Hey. Praise the Lord, it's raining money. Hey, praise the Lord. Yeah. See you. All right, let's pass. Oh, that's it, eh? All right, hey, thank you. Turn it on muted for a second. All right, yeah.